عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واتل عليهم نبأ الذي آتيناه آياتنا فانسلخ منها فأتبعه الشيطان فكان من الغاوين ولو شئنا لرفعناه بها ولكنه أخلد إلى الأرض واتبع هواه فمثله كمثل الكلب إن تحمل عليه يلهث أو تتركه يلهث ذلك مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا فاقصص القصص لعلهم يتفكرون ساء مثلا القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا وأنفسهم كانوا يظلمون صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-A'raf. وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ الَّذِي آتَيْنَاهُ آيَاتِنَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, commanding the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to recite to these people, those people who don't believe, the people which primarily the address is the Jewish people and the mushrikeen, the polytheists of Makkah. Tell them alladhi naba alladhi, the news of the person, alladhi atainahu ayatina, the one whom we gave the signs. Basically it means that upon whom we clearly made our signs clear, and he understood them and he took them. Fansalakha minha, then he came out of them. He basically, as if somebody comes out of their dress or an animal sheds their skin, their exoskeleton. That's how they did it. That the protection of obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they had, they themselves chose to come out of it. فَأَتْبَعَهُ الشَّيْطَانِ, then they started following the shaitan. The shaitan basically pursued him. فَأَتْبَعَهُ الشَّيْطَانِ, the shaitan came after him. فَكَانَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ, and he became those of the perverted, from among the perverted, those who had lost their way. وَلَوْ شِئْنَا, and had we willed, لَرَفَعْنَاهُ بِهَا, we would have raised him. So we would have given respect in this world and the hereafter, elevated him. لَرَفَعْنَاهُ بِهَا, thereby, with the signs and the command and the understanding that we had given him. وَلَكِنَّهُ, but the thing was, he أَخْلَدَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ, he clung to the earth. So basically this means that he clung to the worldly things. So he gave preference to the things of the world, the petty things. And we'll inshallah, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, the famous widely accepted riwayah narration under this ayah, then inshallah we'll keep it in detail, then we'll explain it. وَلَكِنْ أَخْلَدَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ, so he stuck to the earth. وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ, and he followed his own desire. فَمَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ الْكَلْبِ, so his example is like the example of a dog. In tahmil alayhi yalhath, if you attack him, he pants. Aw tatrukhu, or if you leave him alone, yalhath, it still pants, with his tongue protruding. So the way the dog acts, even if it's being attacked or not being attacked, it has its tongue sticking out and it's panting, gasping for breath. ذَلِكَ مَثَلُ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, this is the example, that is the example of the people who reject our signs. فَقْصُصِ الْقَصَصَ, so relate to them these qasas, these chronicles, these happenings. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, maybe they will start to do fikr or to tafakkur or ponder about them and come to the right path. سَاءَ مثلا القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا, evil, bad is the example of the people who الذين كذبوا بآياتنا, who have rejected our signs. وأنفسهم كانوا يظلمون, they have been doing wrong to their own selves. So Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he has related this narration that this is about a particular person who was an Israeli, one of the Bani Israel by birth, but he had moved to a different nation and he had become very respected because of the knowledge that he had of the book. And when these Bani Israel, they were freed from the Fir'aun and they got control over Egypt, they were asked to do jihad against a particular people. They were called Jabbarin, and this person, his name was Bal'am bin Ba'ura, Bal'am bin Ba'ura. That we'll just call him Bal'am, this is simple. Bal'am, this person was an Israeli by birth, was living in the people of Jabbarin. So Sayyidina Musa ala Nabiyina alayhi salatu wassalam, and under him Bani Israel advanced towards these people, Jabbarin, because they were commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fight them and take their land back. So among these Jabbarin, these people who were about to be attacked, they came to this person Bal'am because he was a knowledgeable, pious person among them, and he was in reality a pious person. He had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself saying that we had given him our ayat. He understood, he was a person of practice. Allahu Akbar. But the people came to him, the Jabbarin came to him and said that Sayyidina Musa ala nabiyina alayhi salatu wasalam, they talked about him that he is coming, and he is coming with a great army, and his intention is to drive us out of our lands. So you make dua to Allah that Allah protects us from them. So Bal'am said that what kind of a thing are you asking from me? He is the Nabi of Allah, and he is supported by angels and Allah's strength himself. How can I make a dua against him? And he said that I'm not going to do it. So he did the right thing. He said that I'm not going to make that dua. But the people then, and some ulama have written that his wife was part of it, that they came back to him with a good grand gift, the detail of which is not given, but they came to him with a gift, and he accepted that gift on recommendation from his wife. Once he took that gift, those people came back again to him, and now that they had a favor over him, they asked him that now you should definitely for sure make that dua for us. So he said that before this gift he had made in a way istikhara, that he said that I will somehow find out, ask Allah that what should I do in this regard, that you are asking me to make this dua. And he did some sort of istikhara or some sort of whatever way it was his, that he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In his dream he was shown that you should absolutely not make this dua. So he turned the people away, but after getting that gift he changed his mind and he started making dua. Allahu Akbar. So that was the point where ulama have written that there was three things. Number one, this act of his proves that he was not true in his sincerity. His love for the world overpowered his love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is a very dangerous thing. And we are all at the risk of this. No matter how pious we are, no matter how practicing we are, we should all be very afraid. So Hakim al-Ummat Maulana Sharif Sahib Thanvi rahimahullah has said, Karte raho aur darte raho. Keep on doing and keep on fearing. No matter how high you are, keep on fearing and keep on relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only protection to this pitfall is that you keep on relying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever you feel that you have, or whatever people say that you have, or whatever status you may have among people, keep on referring it back, saying to yourself and to everyone that it is only by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the active mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I am established on this. Otherwise, I have nothing of my own. But he did not have that. The second thing is that he was, in our relationships, we have to be very careful. If our relationships, however close they may be, within our family, with our children, with our wife, with our friends, whoever, if they ask us, if they demand of us to go against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we do not have to listen to them. If we do that, just like Bal'am did, and so many other examples are there that of people did that and they were ruined by it. Third thing that we have to know is that not only being pious alone is enough, but to be very watchful over the kind of relationships that you maintain. You might be a good person yourself, but if you keep a relationship of friendship and close relations with the people who are not, chances are that that relationship will affect you. Just like this person accepted that gift and now he was under their favor, and that was one of the reasons that he thought of making that dua. So when he actually made that dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned his tongue like the tongue of a dog, that it started to protrude out to his chest and he kept on panting like a dog. So ulama have written that this next ayah, the text, says that his example is like that of a dog. It refers to that specific person. Then it also refers to people who have haqq, just like the Yahud, the Jewish people. Before the Prophet ﷺ had come, they would go around the world telling people that these are the signs of the final prophet. This is how is it going to come. These are the signs. And when he comes, we are waiting for him. But when he actually came, they listened to their own self and their desire and their affection and connection to the world and the earth more than the spiritual, high, elevated connection of spirituality, which would have dictated that they submitted to the Prophet ﷺ, no matter from whichever nation and whichever people he came from. But when the Prophet ﷺ came, they rejected him, na'udhu billah. Similar was this the case of the mushrikeen of Makkah, that they also did that. that they had claimed to believe in Allah, they had claimed to listen to the prophets, but when the Prophet ﷺ came and they found out that his teachings are different from what they want to do, they na'uzu billah rejected him. Or for their affiliation with the earth, that the rule that they had in their thought, they wanted to prolong it, and they were afraid that the rule will be taken from them and will be given to the Prophet ﷺ. They did not, for multitude of these reasons, all relating to their affiliation to the earth, their affection with the earth and the things of the earth, they rejected the Prophet ﷺ. So their example and the example of every single person who rejects the commands and signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prefers his desires is like that of a dog, that it is always under stress. Breathing is something, ulama have written, Mufti Shafi Sahib rahimahullah has written, that breathing is something that a person does effortlessly, except for that animal, that dog, which for breathing, for survival, is constantly under stress. So these people who reject the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and turn away to their desire, they are constantly under stress, just like a dog, that even if it's being attacked or not being attacked, left alone, it's constantly under stress on its own. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Then this person, the story continues, Abdullah ibn Abbas has related that this person, then even after this punishment was given to him, rather than coming back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the thing is that he had rejected the sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willfully. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the shaitan behind him, let the shaitan take him over. And this is one of the, Hazrat has written, that not following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in itself a big azab, that it enables the shaitan to overpower you. Therefore, following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects you from the effects of shaitan, and not doing it makes you an open ground for shaitan. So shaitan came after him, and even after this punishment, this sign that he got, he still did not turn back. He said that my dua has failed, and he suggested to people that go, send your women among Bani Israel, send your young girls among Bani Israel, and let them do what they want to do with those girls. That is such a severe, serious evil that when they get indulged in it, they will not be able to overpower you. So from this we learn that the fitna of women is very severe, and it, even with the Nabi being among them, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was among them, they got involved in it. That is what they did, and the Bani Israel got involved, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such a severe punishment came over them that 70,000 of them died in one single day because of the plague that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent over them. Then they came back and they publicly killed and hanged that person who had indulged with these women, and then the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was taken away. So anyway, these are the things that we learn from this, and the Prophet ﷺ is being asked to relate this, which is a sign of the true Prophet, that he is an ummi, and he is telling you stories that you know, and he is presenting those to you, relating those to you, narrating those to you in such a beautiful, such a wise way, that not only is he proving that he is getting the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and telling you the things of the past, but he is telling them in such a wise way that they are carrying very clear, open signs and lessons for you, that you relate to them and think about what happened to those people. Now if you do that, that is going to happen to us. Sa'a mathara lanil qawmul ladina kadzabu bi ayatina. Those people who reject our signs, this is their example, bad example. وَأَنفُسَهُمْ كَانُوا يَظْلِمُونَ. And it's nothing of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose it for them, but they chose it for themselves. When they chose it for themselves, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose it for them. وَأَنفُسَهُمْ كَانُوا يَظْلِمُونَ. It was basically themselves who were doing wrong or doing cruelty to themselves. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذي يهلك وخاصتك. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.